Simo, I can imagine that's a hard ending to take. What are your thoughts right now, and how proud are you of the performance itself?
I'm so proud of the performance, our willingness to run, our willingness to work for each other, our willingness to defend in numbers and enjoy defending, but also when we had the ball, we had a clinical edge to us first half. First goal was excellent, outstanding ball, outstanding header. Second goal, something we'd worked on in terms of trying to force central passes, and then can we counter quickly? Brilliantly executed by Craney, but the run from Morgan Williams is excellent as well to open the space up. And you can control the game in different ways. You can control it through having the ball, you can control it through not having the ball. And I thought our distances from back to front were excellent first half, and the first 22 minutes of the second half, leading into their first goal, which is a mistake, and an individual mistake, which he's not done it on purpose, and that completely and utterly swings the game, because at that point I thought we had him and we've given him a good fright. But then from that point onwards, that's the difference now between whether we're going to be a side that's mid-table or whether we're going to be a side that can push for the playoffs, because we've got an outstanding young group, but that's where we need to learn very quickly. Despite
the result, Gold getting a goal with that trademark header of his, it must help for his confidence, mustn't it?
Yeah, but in terms of my period here as interim manager, I can't ask any more from him, because whether he's been in the team, out of the team, the way he conducts himself day to day, around the changing room, around the group, training sessions, I know what I'm going to get from Goldie. I've known him a long time, and he's a very, very capable forward at this level, and he showed it in that action there, but also his work rate. He was a nuisance for their two centre-halves, who are both very capable. Will Evans obviously very experienced. He's not had an easy day with him for sure. So no, really pleasing in that aspect, but so near yet so far.
After such a promising first half performance, what did Scunthorpe do in the second to flip the game?
Capitalise on a mistake, because you can have the ball on the outside of you as much as you want, and I'm a possession-based manager, and Andy's got a possession-based side here, but we want possession to hurt teams, and they weren't hurting us. They kept rolling it on the outside. We had 2v1s, we were recovering well, shutting off inside channels, and we were forcing them into turning the ball over when they were trying to force things, and then we looked dangerous going the other way. But then at times we need to be a little bit more settled on the ball. But credit to them, they've got some outstanding players. Listen, they're top 4 in the National League. Like, we've got to be realistic in that sense. They've got a player in Callum Roberts who, in my opinion, is above this level. The goal he scores is a League One level finish, and he's always a handful against any opposition in our league or the league above. So, yeah, it's frustrating. You know, credit Scunthorpe. Listen, they've come and put it on us, but we'd put ourselves in a situation to win the game, and actually that then started to lull. We turned it a little bit when Cammy come on and started running the channels after Goldie put in a shift, and it looked like the momentum had completely swung our way. The crowd had quieted right down, and then we've made a fundamental error. And unfortunately, at this level, you get punished, and then teams like that with, you know, what was the crowd today?
2,000.
Right, screaming behind them behind that goal. It's tough, and that's where we've got to grow up as a group, and that's me included, in terms of how we manage those situations so that we can become not just a competitive side, but a capable side.
David Kamara with his first appearance. How do you feel he did, and what do you think he brings for us?
Outstanding running capacity. He will bring an enthusiasm and energy to what he's doing. Peterborough think a lot of him. I'm very grateful for the fact they've trusted us with his development, because we weren't the only club at this level, the level above, that wanted him. So yeah, I'm grateful to people at Peterborough for trusting us with him, and I'm sure he'll bring a lot to the dressing room, because he's a willing runner, because he's strong, because he's got an eye for goal, and because he's young and hungry. He wants to be here. You know, he had other choices. He wants to be here. He wants to learn, and he'll work really hard for this group. So I'm delighted to have him. He's an outstanding young man as well in the way he conducts himself. So the longer he's with us, I'm sure he's going to be a very useful weapon.
How do we move forward from a game like this, and what will the next week look like for the boys?
We're very disappointed for a while. I'm absolutely gutted, not for myself, but for the boys. I'm gutted for the supporters as well, because they were so noisy, and they're trying so hard to get behind this group. I think they appreciate effort. You know, mistakes happen in football, you know, and that's, as frustrating as it is, that weren't a tactical thing that cost us. So that's the frustrating bit, but we want to do well for this football club. I'm desperate to do well for this football club, and I'm working day in and day out to do so. The players are as well. We've had a brilliant week. We really have. They've worked so hard, and we put ourselves in a great position, but we also have to then reflect come Monday, and we have to look at, yes, what went well, what we improved on from last week in certain aspects of our game, but then the even better if, and what we can do to go to the next level. And as I say, that will be the difference between mid-table and being competitive in and around those playoff places, because we've got a talented group of players and we are capable. However, it's not easy, and the difference between the teams in those positions and the ones in the middle of the table, in a lot, but it's just making the right decisions at the right time, the basics of the game and doing those well all the time, and then handling setbacks when they come, because we can score at any point, but when teams score against us, which isn't in the rules, they can't, we have to make sure we manage it correctly. But I can't ask any more from that group of players for 3 weeks that I've been here in this position. They've been outstanding for me, and I know for a fact they'll be desperate to respond. And we've got another nice, easy one next Saturday at home to AFC Files. But we'll look forward to it, and we'll go and try and be competitive and see what we can do.